2 days after Halloween night, school resumed, but something was different. Rumors were flying. Whispered conversations filled the hallways, and all of them had one name in common: Real. She could feel the stares, the judgment, the silence that screamed louder than words, but no one dared to confront her directly. At that point, Real still didn't know Vida was missing. Not until Elizabeth dropped the bomb. She pulled Real aside and told her that everyone was pointing fingers, because Real was the last person Vida spoke to, or rather, the last person she fought with before storming out of the party. Still, Real didn't flinch. The news didn't shake her. But when she was summoned to the principal's office, things shifted. There, she found not only the principal, but also Angelina, Vida's mother, waiting. They began questioning her. Real admitted to the fight. Why? The principal asked. Real shrugged. Because I didn't like that she wore the same costume as me. Then came the tougher questions. About all the times Real humiliated Vida at school. Backed into a corner, she admitted it was true. Angelina was furious. What did my daughter ever do to deserve that? She demanded. Real had no answer. Finally, they asked her the question. On everyone's mind, what did she know about Vida's disappearance? Real insisted she had no idea. She's probably just blowing off steam, she said casually. But Angelina wasn't having it. If I don't hear from my daughter by tomorrow, she warned, I'm going to the police. Real remained unfazed, because her conscience was clean. But did anyone else believe that? Even her friends had started to second-guess their loyalty. Ashley, easily swayed, was warned by her boyfriend, Joel, to stay away from Real, or risk getting dragged down with her. Elizabeth, the studious one from a fiercely competitive family, wanted nothing to do with the drama. Only Karen stayed by Real's side, and she couldn't hide her disappointment in the others. That night, Real struggled to sleep. She couldn't stop thinking about Vida. Everyone was acting like she was dead, but Real found that ridiculous. Vida wasn't dead. She couldn't be. Still, the air around her felt cold, isolating. Even her so-called friends, except Karen, were now avoiding her like she carried a curse. Then, suddenly, there was a loud thud against her window. Startled, Real climbed out of bed and peeked outside. Under the mango tree in her yard stood a figure. A familiar one. It was a zombie costume, the exact one she and Vida had both worn to the Halloween party. Isn't that Vida? Real whispered to herself, heart racing. But when she went outside to speak with Vida, she was nowhere to be found.